Hello.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Quartzsite Real Estate and Events. I'm Ravina Turnage, the branch manager and realtor of the Quartzsite office, along with realtors Tracy Ryder, Steve Kunish, and Michelle Williams. I'm here with the owner and broker of Long River Realty, Tim Hawley, and his wife, co owner, marketing director, and producer of the channel, Dana Hawley.
All right. Thank you, Ravina. So, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, let's start off by mentioning that Easter is coming up April 20th. And people can also follow the Town of Quartzsite on Facebook to stay current on local events, as well as our channel. Um, and then outside of upcoming events, we're going to go right into what we do best, real estate.
All right.
And so, Tim, I have heard from many people that properties don't sell during the summer. Is that a fact or a myth?
That is a myth and long outdated myth because with our software system that we do for a lot of stuff, the real estate industry now is a lot of technology. We monitor our sales and activities for new listings and sales and so forth. And closed sales in the summertime handles now it's over 35% of our total volume. And our listings are right up there running with that, if not more, because people are preparing on their listings for the crowd that's coming back in the fall. And the people that are buying in the summertime are buying so they don't have the competition in the fall. So summertime is a very, very active time for our office in Quartzsite in general. And also, let's take the surrounding areas. You have Baus, Salome, Brenda. Take that all into effect. That activity just keeps on going.
I would agree. Um, so, what can sellers do to prepare for selling their home during the summer, Tim?
In the past, sellers used to put out the buckets of water to keep the moisture in the houses, and they'd shut off the electricity and they'd shut off the water. I think one of the things that would make it a little bit more friendly to the buyers is we can discuss keeping the temperature of the home a little bit more comfortable than 120 degrees because you get people coming inside, they want to take a look. And when it's hot, it rushes the people right through there. They don't want to be in there. They'd rather get back outside, or at least there's some kind of breeze, something going on. So that's with the AC. Even if you crank it down to 90, your bill's not going to be that much increase. But if people are coming in from 100 to 105 outside into a 90-degree home, it's much more comfortable that way. And believe it or not, people are tire kickers on the inside of the house like they are on the outside of the house. Keep your water to accessible to be turned on. People want to turn on the sinks and they want to turn on the showers and they want to see the pressure. I've seen them flush toilets before. So, and as a realtor, if the place is vacant, which they generally are in the summertime, you know, we go through with our listings, our company does, it's what they've all been instructed, and we do is we look under sinks and we look for signs of, making sure there's no water leak or there's no excess something running, somebody cranked the AC down too low, or something happened that would cause an exorbitant bill for the homeowner. Because the whole thing is we all want to work together to get this house sold even in the summertime. And you need to remember, and I'm not going to overtalk Ravina all night today on this. Home inspectors have to come in there too. So the home inspector is going to need the home fully operable because they do turn on dishwashers if there's a dishwasher. They turn on the lights. They flush the toilets. They run the showers. They do everything to do their home inspections. And if we make it difficult to get a home inspector out there, because Quartzsite being a little more of the remote where we don't have any home inspectors living in Quartzsite, they're generally coming from out of the area. And so when we call them to schedule inspection, if all of a sudden, the water's been turned off by the city because that's what the homeowner did, and now we got to wait for the city to get out there, the city's timing to get the water turned back on to the home inspector's timing to get, out there may put a little wrench into the sale of the property, inspections, and trying to get a timely closing.
So, in all fairness, it would be good to say that sellers may want to put themselves in a buyer's position when selling their home.
Yeah, and we just did that with a new listing that we're going to have coming through. We had the sellers come out with Dana and I, and we said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to walk this home with you, and this isn't a preparation of the listing. We're going to walk this home with you as if we're a buyer, and we're all going to play the buyer role and buy your home. And so as we walked around, we said, well, this is something that a home inspector might call out. And there were some things about the house that I already knew what the answer would be, but I can play dumb real well. So I played dumb and asked them some questions. What's this for over here? And they pointed it out. And what's this for over here? So at the end of the day, when we were all done together, we were on the same page of what it is a buyer is going to be looking at. And a lot of times these buyers are represented by other agents outside of our agency. And so these are the questions that these buyers might be asking their agents that we need to already have the answers in place. So if the other agents come to us, we can give them a timely answer on the questions they might have.
That's awesome. I agree. That's a great example of a pre listing walkthrough.
Yeah, and the main thing why we did it with them is they were leaving and they're not close by.
Hmm.
So we wanted to get the answers just as much as them to what to expect. So we were setting them up to know what to expect of the questions that could come through, what's going to be needed. So that way, at the end of the day, there was no, oh, well, I didn't know that would happen, or I didn't know they would ask that, or if it was something they didn't know about, because you would not believe how many times you ask a seller a question about their home and they don't even know about it. So in advance, we gave them a little checklist. Here's the things I need to know about prior to this listing going live, and it'll actually be coming live next week. And they were very diligent. They got all the questions answered. So this listing is very prepared to come on the market. And they've even said that they'll leave their AC unit down to 80 degrees because they want nobody to be uncomfortable.
That's
So
amazing. That's awesome.
yeah,
I look forward to seeing your new listing coming soon.
yeah, me too. Hopefully we see it coming soon and coming sold. That'd be real nice
Yes,
also.
yes.
So
Okay.
what about your experience in summertime sales? And I know a lot of times you take your vacation in the summer, like a lot of people do.
Go
But
see my sons.
yeah, go see your son. But you do have a lot of listings that you have to walk through, and you walk through. And tell us how you work with your clients on the same scenario.
um, well, sometimes it's having difficult conversations, preparing them to remove all most of the majority of their personal items, family photos. That's the most difficult. If they are going to remain in the home, while we're showing it. Um, Otherwise, preparing them, doing the walkthrough, preparing them for all the loans that are available, VA, FHA, um, and just making sure that the home will pass those as well because it opens it up to a broader um, group of buyers. And I had a great walkthrough this morning for a new listing coming soon. And the
All
sellers
right.
the sellers were all prepared. They already had their list and I might have noticed a couple more things, but they were really they're preparing. and they'll
Yeah.
have it all ready to go soon, and they'll be calling me to come back and you know go through it
Yeah.
again, and yeah.
And one of the things that I found with summertime sales, letting people know, is that they say, well, a lot of times the clients would take the home off the market because they don't want to deal with stuff in the summertime. It's like, well, now I have to come back and get this and that, and it's like, well, let's get that prepared because it's we work and we market to sell your home, and I know when buyers buy, very seldom do they come in and say, yeah, I don't want to move in for 3 or 4 months anyways. People get excited when they're spending a good chunk of their money. They want to buy it. They want to close it. Generally it's a 30, 45, could stroll out to 60 days, depending on the type of the loan, like you say, and,
Yeah.
and appraisals and so forth. But that's something to think about, and in Quartzsite, people like to buy the homes with the furniture. Sometimes they can, sometimes they can't, depending on the type of loan. But they can still negotiate with the sellers outside of escrow on the other furnishings and so forth. So I think part of this is being educational, letting the sellers know that this is not the old Quartzsite. This is a new Quartzsite that is becoming alive. It's becoming a year-round scenario. If you look at how many year-rounders have come over the last 10 years, we can take it back that far. Um, that there's a lot more year-round people now. So we got to start taking a look at these listings, and they need to turn into 12-month listings that gives us through the seasons. And really, I always joke and say, we have only 3 seasons in Quartzsite. You have spring, summer, and fall. Winter really doesn't play a big game when it comes to
No, it
Quartzsite.
doesn't.
And so a lot of it's coming down to now we have to be prepared, and we have to let the people know the trends of what's happening because the town is cycling and so forth. So that's just something we're trying to get out to everybody to know that these listings aren't just 3 4 month listings. There's buyers and there's sellers all year round.
Hmm.
So
I agree. I couldn't have said it better.
yeah. So what other events or stuff do you see coming up, or what other ideas do you give to your clients in regards to this?
Um, I would say that when they're listing end of season, to list for a full year, because that takes them to the end of the next season, and it may it may sell during the summer, but it may take that next season to get it sold, and so prepare them for that. Um,
And I think a lot of people don't realize either, even though that we have agents that work for us, the owners of Long River Realty, none of us get a weekly paycheck or a monthly paycheck. We spend our own money on marketing, the gas cost, any other associated fees. So we want to sell your home because the only time we get paid is at the close of escrow. And real estate's one of those unique industries where not every occasion are we taking retainers or monies up front. And that'll be something that we'll talk about in another episode. So we have the motivation to get your home. So it's one of the old sayings that I always say with our listings and to the sellers is teamwork makes the dream work. We
mhm,
all have to work together to succeed in selling the home. It's not just put on the seller's lap to do everything. It's not just put on the realtor's lap to do everything. It's all of us working together with the lenders, with the home inspectors, with everybody involved in order to accomplish what everybody wants. We have a buyer that wants to buy, we have a seller that wants to sell, and we all have to come together to make that happen.
I agree. Yes, yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this is also something that we'll be talking about over time. These podcasts that we're doing, we're going to start sending them out to our listing clients, the clients that have the listings, so they can have them to refer to. We're going to send them out to future buyers. They're going to go on to YouTube. They're going to be exposed out there because I think we need to continue, all of us, to be educated on what it takes to get it done. And just as important as doing all the other steps, is getting the property priced right. So there's a lot of things that we can do working together to continue sales all through the summer season, and not just when there's a million people running around Quartzsite. Because the one thing that you have when you have the million of people running around Quartzsite, it's not like the days where it used to be, where you're getting into multiple offer
Mm-hmm.
scenarios. People are sitting back and saying, I don't want to run the price up. I don't want to be involved in that multiple offer. So I think that's why we're getting more sales throughout the year, because sometimes people, and I've seen this, and we have a couple that just contacted us that came to town, looked at homes with Dana and I, and we looked at five of homes while they were here. And they thought, well, we'll make our decision when we get back towards the end of the season this year. And they just called Dana this morning and said, yeah, I think we want to. And she's like, sorry, that one's in escrow. Okay, well, how about that one's in escrow? Well, how about, so it's not, it's like, let's sit back and see what happens, because they're not. We've had this month alone, I believe, all throughout the Quartzsite area, we were looking at numbers, 19 homes went into escrow through Long River Realty in the month of March. And we tell everybody March is a good month. So if you see something you like today and you really are serious about wanting to do something and be a part of Quartzsite, don't wait for tomorrow, because if you like it, somebody else is going to come along and they're going to like it too.
So, Tim, would that go along with, well, during the summer, maybe prices will drop?
No, it's because, one of the things to look at is your prices aren't going to drop, your inventories aren't going to drop, and your values aren't going to drop. And that's why they always say marry the home, date the interest rate. Because, you buy it today, and people, and that's another one, they've stepped back and said, well, the interest rates are higher. I'm going to wait for the interest rates to drop. Well, first of all, when the interest rates drop, that home's no longer going to be there, or that piece of land, you're paying probably cash for it anyways. But because people, there's people getting, understanding how it's working now, to where they're like, okay, I'll buy the home today. My interest rate is a little bit higher, but guess what happens in 2 to 3 months? You still own the home. Now you can reduce by refining. If you're waiting for the interest rate to drop, and then you turn around and call Ravina and say, okay, Ravina, I'm ready to buy that home, it's gone. Somebody else knew how to buy that home and then refi it later on out, because there's all types of loans out there. So a lot of times you can get into these VAs with a little bit of money down, FHAs with a little bit of money down, even conventional had, and I'm not a lender, but conventional does have some programs that are 3.5% and 5% conventional programs on primary residence. So depending on what it is you're doing, again, marry the home, date the interest rate. So yeah, so things are still going to go. Listings are going to come. Prices are not going to go down, because we, as realtors and brokers, we do stringent studies on the value of homes, and when an appraiser comes out, we're using the same programs that appraisers are using to value the home. And so when we come and we hand you something and say, look, this is what an appraiser is going to pull on this house when this house goes into escrow. Now, it's something that doing the yearly listings, should we update that? Yeah, probably about every 90 days, every 6 months, we ought to take a close look and let's see what's gone on in the neighborhood, because sales will change it. Generally for the good, hoping not for the bad that things went down on us, but stuff changes. So since we're talking to our clients on a regular basis anyways, I recommend that, we update, and let's just take a look at, Is the phone not rang? Well, did we bump it up over what we said the price was going for? Did some other sells for less of a price in there? So maybe we need to bump it down a little bit. And what people don't understand is when you bump it down, even if you bump it down $2,000 to $5,000, it seems like it's a lot. But when you look at the percentage point, it's barely a half a point of what you listed it at. It refreshes everything in all the algorithms. So for now, your Realtor.coms, your Zillows, your Trulias, your eLooky-loos, your even we go out there on all these different rental sites that pull over listing deals. It changes and it puts you back up to viewing. It's just like we do on the people on the listings that think they're going to go stagnant because of their. We move the pictures around. Every time we take this front picture and we wait 2 weeks and replace it with another front picture, it puts it back up. And to people, that's a fresh look because they don't get used to seeing the same front page all the time. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of things behind the scenes that we do. People, don't take your properties off the market. We're going to sell them in the summertime so we could eat too. So I don't know if you have any little tricks you
That's
like to
right.
do, or and it's not so much a trick; it's to the best interest of the seller.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to keep it fresh and top of mind for the buyers. I do that with the photos as well.
Yeah, yeah, definitely with the photos. And like I say, something that we're going to have and we're working on as the podcast as we get more sophisticated with what we're doing. Because right now we're keeping this live and raw. We're not. I'm not doing any editing when this is done. I'm hitting the stop button, and then Ravina and I are rolling the dice and saying, "Here's a mess for you, Dana. Get it out there to the public." So hopefully we get better as we go along. We get more informative. For those of you that view this, please give us the feedback. I'm a big boy. I can take if you tell me something, I'm going to take it as a positive. Like, okay, well, yeah, I do need to fix that, and then we fix that. Like my mother, and she'll see this one again because I'm doing it again. She says, "You need to let that nice lady speak a little more often. You just take up the whole time." And I'm
Oh.
like, "Sorry, mom." She's all, "But you've always been that way, even as a kid." So, anyways, so I am taking up the time, but that's what we do. But Ravina, what do you have so that way I don't get in so much trouble this time when my
Uh,
mom views this video?
so, so what I heard you say is when a seller is ready to sell, it, don't wait.
Yeah, don't wait.
Make the decision
Yeah,
and do it. Prepare to sell, and then put it on the market, no matter what time it is,
that's
what
right.
time of the year it is, if you will.
And
And when
and
a
then
buyer is ready to buy, don't wait. Be prepared. If you're getting a loan, be prepared. Have all your documents ready to go. Get that pre-approval. Call your realtor and don't wait because you
yeah,
may miss out on that property of your dreams.
yeah.
Um, good,
And
good.
one of the advantages of buying in the summertime is if you have to get the appraisals done, you have to get the inspections done, you have to get all the other stuff that you want to do. If there's not as many deals going on, which there's going to be, you watch pretty soon, it's just going to flatline all the way across. It's not going to stop and have the rise and dips because of the season. And so take advantage of having that extra ability to be able to get to the appraisal quicker, to be able to get to the home inspection quicker because they're not stacked up with 10 or 15 of them. But like I say, you wait. The way Quartzsite's going, in the next couple of years, it's going to just be flatlined straight through with the amount of business that goes on.
Foresight is definitely a growing community. It's rising.
Yeah,
A
and
lot of
in a
activity.
good way because it's not the
Yes.
bad growth you get to
No.
where 500 homes are selling a month. So
Yeah.
it's a nice slow growth. It's perfect for a community. The community can keep up with the businesses, can keep up with the residents that are coming in, and it
Yeah.
makes it real nice and convenience for everybody.
So, what do we have to look forward to on our channel, Tim?
Well, we're going to be upgrading that and start adding virtual tours of all of our listings going on. Obviously, this will get listed up here on stuff going on. I'm going to go back to doing more of my doodly that I do, little marketing stuff, cartoons that we do for all of our different listings are going to be. So Our YouTube channel right now is in the beginning. It's the infant stage where it's growing. And that's why we always want everybody to tell us more. What do you want to see? It's evolving every day. Every time we do a podcast, every time we take new listings, we're going to try to get all the Insta viewers, which anybody that doesn't know what an Insta viewer is, it's like doing a little movie on the house. It takes the tracks, puts them all together, gives you a good look at the house inside and out, all the way around. We're going to start adding those. Those will have the information on them where to call us to take a look at the stuff. We're going to start getting the calendar of events put onto the YouTube channel because we're going to talk about them. The summertime events slow down a little bit, but there's still surrounding areas. That's the one nice thing about Quartzsite, where Quartzsite sits. It's not far to Parker. It's not far to Lake Havasu. It's not far to Yuma. Not even far to Phoenix. If you want to go catch a ball game, you're only a couple hours away. Whether you're into baseball, basketball, football, whatever your sport, or equestrian events, there's all kinds of stuff that goes on. Even Phoenix. The nice thing about Quartzsite, it sits right in the middle of that. It's this nice little, we'll call it the fillet of Arizona because it's the best piece and it sits right in the middle and you're close by everywhere. Even if you want to get into Laughlin, Nevada, is not that far away. If you want to go up for some professional entertainment, you have the casinos all along the river going on up to there. You can do extra stuff too. So there's a lot of events going on. There's a lot of deals going on for people buying, moving in. It's just a wonderful, active time with stuff to happen close by.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely. That's one of my pleasures of living in Quartzsite is that it's a peaceful town, but it's not far from water. It's not far from shopping. Um, there's a lot of benefits to living here.
Yeah, and I've seen more pools are going in because you're getting more of the year rounders. And I think we're still short a pool person. So anybody looking for a business, what do I want to do? There is a lot of abilities and pools to be cleaned between Quartzsite, Parker, and all over. Base yourself out of Quartzsite, and I think it's getting close that you're going to see there's enough there for a pool person to set up a route to go clean pools year round in Quartzsite also.
I would agree with that too.
Yeah, yeah.
Hard to find.
Yeah, I remember when you started with yours. How much of this do I pour in there? How much of that I pour in there? Yeah, you'll find out if you get in there and your eyes burn. Time to get back out and change the water.
Yes,
But yeah, it pulls clean is very important. So I think as we see the town grow more and more year rounders, and it's going to happen naturally because there's stuff going on. Interstate 10 runs right through it. I mean, it is the smallest town I have ever met with a little interstate that runs through it. And something we talked about in our last podcast, the people there, everybody is so approachable. They're just nice. It's one of those towns that you feel secure walking through, driving through, stopping through. It's a great community.
it
And it's one of
is.
those ones that you can stop, you can ask for directions. People tell you, hey, what's open now today? Because summertime, people say, well, which restaurants are open? Are all of them open? Sometimes not all of them, but you know what? Ask a local. They'll tell you what's open right now and where to go.
And we will keep you updated on what restaurants those are in the future.
Yeah. And we'll give you updated scores on, hey, today this one has a great special going on, and maybe we can get with the different restaurants and get their list of specials going on for the month so people can know. Uh, you can look at me, I can tell I like to eat. I have been trimming down and I have been working on the diet, but that doesn't mean I don't eat at all. So there's some great places in Quartzsite. Quartzsite's really got some great restaurants to eat at.
Mhm.
So, is there anything else before we wind down, Robina, that you'd like to let everybody know about?
Oh, well, I think we covered a lot of territory today.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if our
and please,
audience
yeah, we're
has
going to
any
start emailing
suggestions,
these out. So, as you get these, please call us and tell us, hey, we'd like to see more of this, or we'd like to see more of that, because we want to make this an informational podcast, not only on the real estate that's going on, and we'll get more into that as we go. Again, we're practicing, we're learning, and we'll bring it to you guys, and we'll get more information to you out there. All right,
Yeah,
as
I
we
think
wind
that's
it
right.
down, yeah, as we wind it down here, you have everything about you want to talk about today, Ravina? We'll move this on to next podcast.
I think we're good. I think we covered everything to look forward to and how well, yeah,
All
we're
right.
just moving right along.
All right, sounds good. Anyways, we thank you everybody for that. And oop, we got too ahead of ourselves. Someone told me stop, stop. So, anyways, thank you everybody, and thank you for putting up with us. And we'll all grow together and make this a wonderful deal. Thank you.